The wit of conversation consists more in finding it in others, than showing a great deal yourself. He who goes out of your company pleased with his own facetiousness and ingenuity, will the sooner come into it again. Be not sick too late, nor well too soon. There are two ways of being happy: we may either diminish our wants or augment our means, either will do, the result is the same, and it is for each man to decide for himself, and do that which happens to be the easiest. If you are idle or sick or poor, however hard it may be to diminish your wants, it will be harder to augment your needs. If you are active and prosperous, or young, or in good health, it may be easier for you to augment your means than to diminish your wants. But if you are wise, you will do both at the same time, young or old, rich or poor, sick or well, and if you are wise, you will do both in such a way as to augment the general happiness of society. Fear to do ill, and you need fear not else? Some, to make themselves considerable, pursue learning, others grasp at wealth, some aim at being thought witty, and others are only careful to make the most of a handsome person. But what is wit, or wealth, or form, or learning, when compared with virtue? It is true we love the handsome, we applaud the learned, and we fear the rich and powerful, but we even worship, and adore the virtuous. A learned blockhead, is a greater blockhead than an ignorant one. It is a common error in friends, when they would extol their friends, to make comparisons, and to depreciate the merits of others. Each year one vicious habit rooted out, in time might make the worst man good throughout. A new truth is a truth, an old error is an error. Having lived long, I have experienced many instances of being obliged by better information, or fuller consideration to change opinions, even on important subjects, which I once thought right, but found to be otherwise. The way to secure peace, is to be prepared for war. They that are on their guard, and appear ready to receive their adversaries, are in much less danger of being attacked, than the supine, secure, and negligent. A fat kitchen, makes a lean will. Don't go to the doctor with every distemper, nor to the lawyer with every quarrel, nor to the pot for every thirst. I never saw an oft-removed tree, nor yet an oft-removed family, that throve so well as those, that settled be. An ounce of prevention, is worth a pound of cure. The worship of God is a duty, the hearing and reading of sermons may be useful, but if men rest in hearing and praying, as too many do, it is as if a tree should value itself in being watered, and putting forth leaves, though it never produce any fruit. Eat to live, and not live to eat. A great talker may be no fool, but he is one that relies on him. When you incline to have new clothes, look first well over the old ones, and see if you cannot shift with them another year, either by scouring, mending, or even patching if necessary. Remember, a patch on your coat, and money in your pocket, is better and more creditable, than a writ on your back, and no money to take it off. When there is so much to be done for yourself, your family, and your country, be up by peep of day. Let not the sun look down and say, "Inglorious here he lies." Don't misinform your doctor, nor your lawyer. To expect people to be good, to be just, to be temperate, etc., without showing them how they should become so, seems like the ineffectual charity mentioned by the Apostle, which consisted in saying to the hungry, the cold and the naked, "Be ye fed, be ye warmed, be ye clothed," without showing them how they should get food, fire or clothing. He is the best physician, that knows the worthlessness of the most medicines. Would you live with ease, do what you ought, and not what you please. Man and woman have each of them qualities, and tempers in which the other is deficient, and which in union contribute to the common felicity. God heals, and the doctor takes the fees. He that is known to pay punctually, and exactly to the time he promises, may at any time, and on any occasion, raise all the money his friends can spare. This is sometimes, of great use. When I am employed in serving others, I do not look upon myself as conferring favors, but as paying debts. I have received much kindness from men to whom I shall never have an opportunity of making the least direct returns, and numberless mercies from God, who is infinitely above being benefited by our services. Those kindnesses from men I can, therefore, only return on their fellow men, and I can only show my gratitude for those mercies from God by a readiness to help His other children. Life, like a dramatic piece, should not only be conducted with regularity, but it should finish handsomely. God helps them who help themselves. Men are subject to various inconveniences merely through lack of a small share of courage, which is a quality very necessary in the common occurrences of life, as well as in a battle. How many impertinences do we daily suffer with great uneasiness, because we have not courage enough to discover our dislike? The art of getting riches consists very much in thrift. All men are not equally qualified for getting money, but it is in the power of everyone, alike to practice this virtue. Having been poor is no shame, being ashamed of it is. If a sound body and a sound mind, which is as much as to say health and virtue, are to be preferred before all other considerations, ought not men, in choosing a business either for themselves or children, to refuse such as are unwholesome for the body, and such as make a man too dependent, too much obliged to please others, and too much subjected to their humours in order to be recommended, and get a livelihood. Our opinions are not in our own power, they are formed, and governed much by circumstances, that are often as inexplicable as they are irresistible. Tricks and treachery are the practice of fools, that don't have brains enough to be honest. After all, wedlock is the natural state of man. A bachelor is not a complete human being. He is like the odd half of a pair of scissors, which has not yet found its fellow, and therefore is not even half so useful as they might be together. I would advise you to read with a pen in hand, and enter in a little book short hints of what you find that is curious, or that may be useful, for this will be the best method of imprinting such particulars in your memory. By the collision of different sentiments, sparks of truth are struck out, and political light is obtained. The different factions, which at present divide us, aim all at the public good, the differences are only about the various modes of promoting it. Reading makes a full man, meditation a profound man, discourse a clear man. There are in life real evils enough, and it is folly to afflict ourselves with imaginary ones. It is time enough when the real ones arrive. Work as if you were to live 100 years. Pray as if you were to die tomorrow. Hope and faith may be more firmly built upon charity, than charity upon faith and hope. If a man empties his purse into his head, no man can take it away from him. An investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. One today is worth 2 tomorrows. I look upon death to be as necessary to our constitution as sleep. We shall rise refreshed in the morning. We need a revolution every 200 years, because all governments become stale and corrupt after 200 years.